Hello guys, it's SquidLord here, and today I am with you in a discussion. A discussion over the new MK11 update that'll be taking place recently, or pretty quick. It'll take place whenever Nightwolf drops on August 13th. The new update will include some bug fixes, some frame fixes for characters, and some nerfs and balances out for other characters. Now, some characters like Jackie, Sonya, and I think one other person. And Aaron Black have been nerfed slightly so that they're less spam heavy and everything. And some characters like Scorpion, which I don't know why he's getting a buff, but might as well. I know he's getting a buff. I know some characters like Kodokan. I know Devora's getting some buffs, and just all around, like, they're fixing the roster so that everyone's more equal footing, so that not one character's completely like overpowered compared to the others. And one of the major things that they're deciding to do in this new update is they're adjusting health as a balance. Now, I don't know what y'all think about it, but according to what was said on the Kombat Kast, the health adjustments will make it so that Kodokan's got the most health because he's the current Khan of Outworld, or was the current Khan of Outworld. Then Shao Kahn has the second most health, and then it'll go in terms of how good NetherRealm thinks that character is, depending on how much less health you end up having. So, like, say you may play Aaron Black, and he may have, 800 health instead of 1,000 health now. They said that they didn't want to make it so that it's a hindering amount of health that you're missing, but I mean, if you're gonna take health away because a character's too good, you may just want to nerf that character more instead of taking away health. Like, you're making it so that you're playing an extreme glass cannon, is my opinion. Like, I want to be able to play Scorpion and not have to worry about my health being different than another player's, and just have to worry about beating out their frames. Rather than, oh hey, I started out with a major, handicap, and my opponent also has more health than me. I'm screwed, kind of thing. I'm not too happy about the new health adjustments. I know some other players aren't going to be too happy about it as well. And I don't know how NetherRealm's going to adjust the health constantly in terms of updates and other, because apparently NetherRealm thinks Scorpion's a bad character when he is pretty good against most of the roster. Like, there's some people that you can't play Scorpion against just because he gets beat out all the time. But I mean, Scorpion can take out Aaron Blacks. I mean, Scorpion can take out Sonya's, You just gotta play him right. And I don't see why a lot of people think that he's as weak as he... like, see him as weaker than what he is. So, if NetherRealm thinks he's weaker than what he is, and they give him more health than another character should have, then, you know, you're gonna have NetherRealm messing up and making a, like, busted character, saying, oh hey, you know, this character we personally think as a studio is a crap character, but we're gonna beef them up in terms of, you know, frames and specials, and then beef them up in terms of health, and make it so that they're the most busted character in the game. That's my issue with it. Because NetherRealm doesn't really know what they're doing in terms of characters part of the time. Especially when it came to this game. Because they made it seem like, you know, their characters shouldn't have been getting, you know, stupid amounts of damage. When we got people here that can make, you know, Jackie combos that end in 3 crushing blows for like 60% of your health. So, I mean, it's just a constant issue of whether or not what the studio thinks is best compared to what is actually correct in terms of gameplay. And I'm not saying that what they're doing is wrong, it's just I'm saying as a fighting game player and as a consumer, I am saying that that's kind of iffy. Because yes, it gives you more resources you have to manage and everything in terms of, you know, competitive wise. But at some points there's things that you just don't mess with. Like the health bar, because that's one thing a lot of people gauge on like what they're doing. And if you start messing with the health bar and everything, then that makes everything to where it's not so safe. Because, you know, if they decide to start messing with the health bar, they may decide to start messing with, you know, the meter regeneration system, or how much meter a person has, you know, in order to balance out, you know, specials and everything like that. So it's starting to make it so that a lot of these solid things that people used to be able to trust in a fighting game aren't so reliable now, and are like can be feared in terms of whether or not they're gonna be there or not, or gone. But like a lot of the times you don't have to worry about, you know, whether or not your health's different than your opponent's, other than, you know, damage taken. And I understand that, you know, NetherRealm's trying to do what's best for the game in terms of the long run, because this game's supposed to last us for, you know, a few years. But, you know, I kind of think that they should hold back on the whole health adjustment system. I know the studio's all for it, but I don't think the players are. And I mean, if the players demand it, sure, go for it. But, I mean, if it's something that gives them a huge backlash, then I think it's something that they may consider taking out of the game. Is the whole health bar adjustments. But other than that, I'm happy with the fact that they're fixing some characters, because some of the characters are pretty busted, and I understand that, you know, there's some characters that are needing heavy lifting in terms of everything from frames to specials. So that is good. And I also like the idea that they're putting in new specials. new specials means new brutalities. So that is really nice. Well, new specials also means that they're giving characters new crushing blows, which has already been confirmed with the Kombat Kast whenever they streamed Evo Day 2. So that is it's making it so that the game, so that some characters that don't have very many crushing blows, like say Centurion and Noob Saibot, are getting more crushing blows, or making it so that their crushing blows are easier to access. So like Noob Saibot's Shadow Tackle, for example, it requires 10 shadow moves to connect. Well, they changed up one of his specials, which is the Shadow Slide, so that you can EX it at the end and shoot out another Shadow Kick. A Shadow Clone Kick. Well, that counts as a Shadow move, and if they both connect, that counts as 2 Shadow moves. Well, the Shadow Tackle requires 10 Shadow moves to connect. And so it makes it so it's faster and easier to, connect the two. In which, I honestly think that Shadow Tackle special is, like, Shadow Tackle Crushing Blow is pretty hard to get. Like, I understand Noob Saibot is kinda, like, supposed to be his own character when he's really not. Like Noob Saibot's more of like a I'm going to juggle you kind of character than anything else. Like, oh hey, you're gonna try to do something, I'm gonna teleport and yoink you and go into a combo. And I mean, I agree with it at some points and I disagree with it at other points. It's just, a whole fact of the matter is whether or not, adjusting certain crushing blow requirements and adjusting and giving characters more of them is gonna be more prevalent. But also, they showed us Nightwolf on the stream. Nightwolf seems to be this zone character that is also like a counter zoner. So basically, Nightwolf's got a few different zone tools. He's got his bow. He's got the thunderclap, like he always has, and in some variations, he's got this ethereal hawk that he can send over at you. Now, he's got 3 spirit animals that he can summon. He's got the wolf that gives him a buff in terms of damage. The bear, I think, gives him armor. And then he's got the hawk that makes it so that your opponent cannot amplify specials. So that is really cool. And you can EX them so that you get hits of armor. So that you won't be able to get hit out of your buff stands and everything. They decided to do that as well for Shao Kahn, I do believe. Because Shao Kahn's debuffs and buffs happen to be super slow. And you can just get easily punished for throwing them out unless you hard knock down your opponent across the map. Well, they made it so that the recovery frames are faster. And I do believe they may have made it so that you can EX it so that you do have hits of armor before you are able to get knocked out of doing that. because that makes it a lot more, because it makes it a lot more viable to use those than to just completely be like, I'm never gonna use his buffs or debuffs ever again because they're just too slow. And like, Nightwolf seems to be like a pretty decent character. He'd be about maybe like an A tier character, because they did show, you know, a decent like 30-something% combo on stream. So it does seem like they are trying to make bigger combos with the characters on streams and in the lab, because beforehand, before the game released and they were releasing single characters, they weren't doing big combos at all with any of the characters. They would do like maybe a 20% combo and be like, man dude, this is a big combo. When now we can, like for example Scorpion, whenever he came out, they made 20% combos, 15% combos, and we're like, yeah, this is pretty good. And now we can make 45% combos with Scorpion, no crushing blows. So I mean, it seems like NetherRealm is trying to make it so that the game is more competitive. But what are your thoughts? If you got any ideas or, you know, any other thoughts, put them in the comments below. Check the description for links to the Facebook page that I have and for other sorts of information. I will try to keep an eye out for specifics on the update, and, you know, just kind of waiting on that Nightwolf to get dropped. But as always guys, keep up the shenanigans. I'll see you in the next video.
Flawless victory.